Hello, back on the show today is none other than Titan FC's double champ, Jose Shorty Torres. He'll be defending his flyweight crown at Titan FC 48 live on UFC Fight Pass February the 16th. Shorty, what's going on, my man? How you doing, sir?
Everything's going great, man. I can't complain. I'm alive. How about you?
Alive is good, right? Alive is good.
Al-
I'm doing
al-
well. Thank you for asking.
Alive is good. I'm not dead, so I guess it's a good sign.
Bit tired, I assume, huh?
I'm always a little tired. It's been a year since I made flyweight, so actually this past week, 3 weeks out from the fight, I decided to really just drop my weight and get as low as possible. So this week wasn't the funnest week in the world, but now this coming week, I'm just maintaining my weight. So fight week, I can just get it all out with a breeze and be low instead of looking, sucked out and dried out.
Yeah, you said it's been a while since you made that weight cut. Has it been any tougher since your last two fights were at bantamweight 135? Is it a little bit tougher to get back down this time?
Um, a little bit just because it's been pretty much about a year and a month. It's definitely been a while. I can tell you this, I miss 135 already. I mean, I am 135 already. I mean, I can make weight for 135 and yeah, I'm just trying to get down to flyweight. It makes you respect the higher weight class a little more, then it makes you respect the lower weight class a little more because for guys like me who are 125 who do cut a good amount of weight, 20, 30 pounds, it does take a lot of commitment where, you're secluding yourself to all the food you can eat, but, just portioning it and being able to work out without overtraining and trying to keep the weight down as much as possible. So it gets difficult, but I'm happy to be back at it. I'm happy to be fighting for Titan FC, back at the flyweight division. I'd rather fight someone at that level to see where it goes from there compared to immediately bumping up and fighting Tim Elliott or Justice Goggins or whoever they put in front of me and putting up against a really, really tough test.
So you maintain that you're a 125 pounder then?
Oh yeah, I'm 100% 125 pounder, but I can tell you this, 35 is so much more fun to make.
Easy, a lot easier too, right?
It is a lot easier. I mean, I can make weight right now, and I'm drinking a gallon of water a day, no problem. So, uh, it's a lot bigger, of a battle and a lot bigger of a struggle against the opponents. But man, the weight's such a breeze.
I see you've been out in Florida for this camp. How do you like having the camp out there in Florida?
It's cool, man. I guess my last opponent, Gleedson, which coincidentally is from here, was talking about that I'm a gym hopper. Coincidentally, the next gym I hopped was his gym. And American Top Team, man, they've been treating me really, really well. All the guys here, all the coaches. I mean, I've had fun with so many big, big names here. Barao, Pedro Munhoz, Formiga. I mean, and just so many more. It's the big thing that I struggle with, at least when it comes to my game. I believe I'm well rounded with everything, but the things that I believe I need to work on the most is jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, shin blocks, and defending calf kicks from my last fight. And that's all these guys do. It's majority all Brazilians. So these guys are just high level jiu-jitsu, and I'm not just saying black belt. I mean, you know, um, Ronnie Yaya is actually like in the room next door, and he's like a four-time jiu-jitsu world champion. So him and I were going the other day. I was like, oh my god, this is just scary. So it's really cool to go with these really really experienced guys, these experienced veterans, and just learning from the best.
It's interesting that he kind of made it out to be like negative, to be a gym hopper. It seems like it's worked out to your benefit to kind of, like you said, hop around from gym to gym and train with so many high caliber guys day in and day out.
Yeah, but the big thing for me is that I'm loyal to my coach, which is Master Bob Shermer at Combat Doe, where I started MMA. And I mean, he's in my corner. He's my head coach every single, fight. Doesn't matter if I'm with Dwayne for the training camp, I'm with Jackson Wink, or I'm down here at American Top Team. I'm always having my head coach, the guy who's raised me to be the man who I am today, as my head coach and in my corner every single time. But man, being able to go with so many different guys, I'm not prideful. I've sparred with 75% of the flyweight division. I don't care if I fight those guys. Those are my friends, sure, so be it. But friends have to fight friends. It's just business, and it's again, it's really cool to get these different looks. If I didn't spar with Barao, I wouldn't know to shin block. If I didn't go with TJ, I wouldn't know to move my head. If I didn't go with Dotson, I wouldn't know the speed that I had to implement just to counter him. So it's crazy to know that I've been able to go with some of the best, and it's a confidence booster for me.
Absolutely. Has to be, has to be. So I'm sort of surprised that the UFC hasn't struck a deal with you by now. I'm curious, have you had any talks with them? I know for a little bit you're kind of on the outs with Mick.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely still out with Mick, but actually, one small update. They did call me for UFC Charlotte in North Carolina. The only problem was they go, you know what? We want you. We like you. We're going to give you two choices between this guy and this guy. I'm not going to state their names. I don't want any problems, but they both denied the fight. And even though it was last minute, I go, hey man, it's last minute. I'm planning on making weight February 16th, not this date. Let's make it even a catch weight. And even if it's that much of a problem, let's do 135. Just because you guys really want this fight. And they go, these guys both don't want it. I'm sorry. So it's one of those things that either I'm injured, which has been the 6 times they've called, or the 7th time, no one wants to fight me. So I'm at the limbo of what do I do now? So might as well just keep on fighting for Titan, make my living, and see where it goes from there. They can only deny me for so long.
Interesting. Interesting. And they also announced UFC Chicago for June, early June. I feel like they've got to have you on that card. I mean,
I made a post
it's a
about it
must,
yesterday.
right?
I made a post about it yesterday. I haven't fought in Chicago as an amateur or as a pro in about 5 years. And I've been doing MMA since I was 18, and it's pretty much 7 years, almost 8 years of my career and as a just mixed martial artist. And it's man, I'd love to give back to my community as much as they give back to me. And one of those, being fighting in the United Center. For us, that is our Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden is like my number five, and I was actually talking about it to one of my teammates yesterday. Like, Madison Square Garden's awesome, and all these places around the world are great, but nothing. There's no place like home. And fighting in front of Chicago, in front of my neighborhood, in front of my friends, family, and everyone supporting me, it'd just be honestly a dream come true in the big stage. Which for us, the Chicago Bulls, the Blackhawks, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, all these guys. So it'd be a huge, huge honor. But fingers crossed. But the next thing in line is February 16th, and everything goes well, maybe that could be next.
So, yeah, like you said, everything goes according to plan on the 16th. Take care of business. Would you like to make your debut in Chicago?
I mean, it's definitely a ways away. I'd like to make my debut a little earlier, but I actually
Yeah.
have plans to immediately after the fight go home, spend the week in Chicago and actually come back down here to American Top Team and just keep my weight low and just stay ready. As long as I'm not injured, which knock on wood, fingers crossed, I'm ready for the next call. And I know I'm next in line. It's just one, am I going to be safe and healthy enough to do it? And two, is anyone going to be willing to fight me? Even the opponent for February 16th is a no-name, and there's a reason for that. Not because I'm trying to pick easy fights. It's because literally the guys next in line don't want to fight me. The number two, the number three, number four, even guys who call me out don't want to fight me. Their teams want nothing to do with me, so we had to find someone brave enough to take the fight. And right now, that's Alberto Orellano, which makes it that much more scary because he's a guy that has nothing to lose. It's kind of like the Apollo Creed fighting Rocky for the first time. It's a guy that has nothing to lose, and we'll see where it goes from there.
How do you like the matchup with Alberto? I know you don't probably know much about him. Like you said, he's kind of a no-name, but how do you like that matchup?
I mean, it's a good matchup, mainly for me being, back at 125 in the flyweight division. It's been a year. I'd rather, in a sense, fight a no-name opponent. This is no disrespect to my opponent now. Again, I'll find out how he is in fight day, but paper-wise, it's a great, great matchup for me to really test how I'm going to be at flyweight division. So the next time I make it against whoever, Justin Scott against Tim Elliott, I can perform that much better. The first time making it, your body does take a toll, and you're not 100%. So that's why even this week I try to bring my weight low, weight down as much as possible to see, how I felt. And I mean, so far I feel great. I think it's a great matchup. I don't know much about him. I know he's more of a 10th planet jiu-jitsu guy, which I'm really excited to see his ground game. But we'll see if he even gets that far.
How do you see the fight going on the 16th?
I don't know. I'm actually trying to treat this fight as the World Championships back in the day as an amateur, where we fought 5 times in 1 week, and it didn't matter who we fought. It was the matter of trying to be as healthy as possible and finish the fight as fast as possible. So the next fight we can perform that much better. So for me, I'm trying to finish the fight as fast as possible. So if the UFC does call, later on in February, later on in March or April, I'm ready and healthy to do it. So for me, I want to try to finish in the first round.
What an interesting experience to call upon for a fight like this.
Man, it's this fight is definitely different, for February 16th. But I'm really trying my best not to look past it, and I'm really just trying my best to stay as focused as possible. And I was, weight cutting gets you like I don't want to do anything anymore. But man, I saw that poster for UFC Chicago, and I was like, oh, I gotta win this now. Like I have no choice but to win this because if I win this, it just puts that much more stuff in my resume to be able to come up. I mean, this would be my this would be 7 fights total, and win this fight. It'll be 5 main events, one of them being a co-main, 4 of them being main event. I mean, all of them being title fights. 3 of them now will be title defenses. I mean, who's done that at soon to be 7-0? So for me, be able to put that on my accolades and my resume, I think I'm really excited to say that. Hopefully, I could be on the main card of UFC Chicago.
So do you think that 4 months is too long to wait for a debut? Would you like to have a fight between then?
I definitely like to have a fight between them. I mean, for me, my last 2 years, pretty much, I've had 2 fights, a year almost. Pretty much almost 2 fights, depending on where you rank it. But yeah, I just been injured. For me, I want to make up for lost time and just I also got to make a living too. I want to be able to push forward, push forward, push forward. And UFC Chicago is great, but if something comes beforehand, I mean, I know my fans can definitely wait. And either way, they'll be excited to watch me no matter where the UFC is.
Man, exciting stuff, Shorty. So I see the shirt on. Is that Receptor you got going on there?
Yeah, I've been wearing
Nice.
Reception, man. It's definitely been helping me a lot. And actually, they sent me a bunch of free samples to give out to the guys here at American Top Team. I think in 3 days, everything was gone. Everyone's like,
Nice.
free CBD? Oh, take it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah,
Right.
sure, guys. So it's really cool how fast CBD is coming up, and I mean, I'm even going to my sponsors for like cryotherapy and other places, and they're like, oh my God, you got CBD? I would love to try it, please. So it's been really cool to really just spread the name and pass it around and help a company that's been really helping me a lot. The big story with Receptra is they discovered me after I broke my hand against Farkad Sharipov and tore my MCL, so they came to me at like exactly the perfect timing.
So they've been a huge help to you overall.
Yeah, they've been a huge help sending me stuff monthly and really just, I mean, honestly, taking care of me. If it wasn't for the CBD stuff, I'd probably be going crazy right now.
Yeah. It's a good way to nurse back these day-to-day injuries, right?
Yeah, man, and actually, for me, I have insomnia, so it definitely helps me right before bed. I, either have just a straight drop in my mouth or just put a couple drops in my tea or my drink and just be able to chill and coast throughout the night.
So is this your first camp where you'll be able to use it CBD all the way through?
Yeah, usually just in case you have to, you can use it like during the camp, but then 2 weeks out you have to really just taper off and get off of it just because of it was technically illegal. But this time, CBD is perfectly fine, and I'm just I'm overdosing now. But I'm really excited and I'm really happy to again perform my best. And I believe Receptor Naturals and just CBD overall has been helping me a lot.
Do you get a lot of questions about CBD oils, being that you rep the brand, like about if it has anything to do with pot or weed or anything like that? Do you get questions like that?
Yeah, I do get questions like that, and just overall the benefits. Like for me, again, I broke my hand, tore my MCL. I get beat up every day. I'm always sore. This is stuff for me mainly at night that is supposed to help relieve the soreness. It's supposed to give the good fat cells to your body and just to help you recover. So it's been really beneficial. And for all these people who are afraid that they're going to pop up in THC, unless you're taking ridiculous amounts, it's not going to pop up. You're perfectly fine, and it's perfectly legal, perfectly safe, and it's not a performance enhancing drug.
Well, Shorty, I appreciate your time as always, my man. Before I let you go, what are you listening to whenever you're heading to the gym or whenever you're getting your run in? What do you got jamming?
Ah man, actually, coincidentally, I've been running on the treadmill, so I haven't been listening to music. Every time I'm in the treadmill or in the sauna or something where I can actually watch something, I'm always watching boxing fights. Whether it be Manny Pacquiao, Lomachenko, Mayweather, Triple G, Canelo, all these guys, I'm just having fun watching boxing fights and just studying. But for me right now, man, music. Hmm. I've been really, given I'm a Chicago guy, so Kanye West has been my thing. But I'm always just trying to pick out my song for the next fight. And I think "Can't Tell Me Nothing" by Kanye West is gonna be my song. I want to come out to a little bit of a darker theme to this fight.
Got you. I like it. I'll have to check it out. Did you, by the way, did you see Lomo with that suplex he did? That suplex?
Yeah, yeah. So he's having a little fun. It was funny because I think TJ Dillashaw called him out too for like a random boxing fight or MMA fight, which would be awesome. So, given I believe they're both playing around, or I don't know, who cares? But it's just really cool to see, guys just mixing it up, having fun, and Yeah, it's honestly cool to see such a cool guy like Lomachenko just have fun and do whatever he wants.
Who wins in a UFC fight or an MMA fight, Lomachenko or Floyd Mayweather?
Oh, between them?
Yeah.
Oh man, I think in an MMA fight, Lomachenko. I think he's younger, more diverse. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, and I think Lomachenko, just being Ukrainian alone, has at least some type of wrestling game. We saw the suplex, so maybe he has the advantage there.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I love it. I love the pick. All right, guys. Well, be sure to check out Jose Shorty Torres. He defends his flyweight title against Alberto Orellano February 16th live on UFC Fight Pass. Don't miss it.